Hey everybody, welcome. I'm gonna move this out of my face a little bit. Welcome to day 4. We made it. Coronavirus and everything. We made it happen, and thank you all for joining us. We've had a blast showing off all our games. And this being the last day, we're gonna do a recap of a lot of things, but also we're gonna show off our original Upper Deck games today. With me today, I have Mark. Everyone say hi, Mark.
Good afternoon, everybody.
And I got Bubby in the chat moderating and being another voice today.
Dual purpose.
Dual purpose. Just finished a game with my brother against Melissa. Yes, I spelled that wrong. It's okay. I'm guessing, I don't know. Well, all right. Let's do a quick recap on what we've talked about. Day 1, we talked about versus system and how to play that 2-person card game, Marvel, Fox property, all sorts of properties and different IPs that you can play. You and a friend control a main character, usually characters that you know and love, support them with supporting characters and other cards, and you play off and try to defeat the other person's main character. I defeated Mark with Galactus. It was pretty easy for me. I was kind of no. It was a lot of fun, and he was a good sport because he actually built that deck for him, so he was going to wipe the floor with me. So that was versus on day 1. Day 2, we talked about all the Marvel accessories that we have, and that I'm going to show you right now while I'm talking about it. I think it's here. Yeah, so we had a Thanos Playmat. We have so many things on our store. Thanos Playmat. We have an X-Men Playmat. I'm just going to show you a brief clip of all these. Beginner's luck. It's true. We have a Spider-Man Playmat. This is a generic one that can be used for a lot of different games. Spider-Man card sleeves. We'll make sure you grab some of those. The 65. They come in a pack of 65, and they're $9.99. And then we have another Thanos playmat, but this is a generic one that can be played more than just Legendary. And we have Thanos card sleeves. The Snap. This is one of Mark's favorites, and as was mine. And then we have the Wolverine playmat. Beautiful playmat. Intensity. And we have his Wolverine card sleeves. And then recently we have Black Widow card sleeves. Now, upcoming ones, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, excuse me.
Yeah, Ms.
No,
Marvel.
I was right. Okay, my brain was.
Khan.
And then we have Black Panther coming soon. So make sure you go to the store for those. Exclamation store, you'll see all the products there. But yeah, and that was day 2. And then we had an artist interview with Dave, who illustrated these beautiful pieces behind me, which we're going to talk about a little bit more. And then day 3, which was yesterday, we played Legendary New Mutants, me and Rob, and we won, despite you guys somewhat attacking us with your channel points, but also helping us tremendously. So make sure you pick up New Mutants, box art, and this is the box art, so make sure you grab that. All right, so before we go, this is the exclusive print. We're running out of time to get it. There was only 100 of them. Make sure you go to our store. 18 by 24 limited edition run of this print. This is our Comic-Con exclusive by Dave DeVries. And make sure you go to the store there. Any word on when you might see a Marvel Legendary version of Legendary DXP? Major spoilers. We have no word on it right now. Yeah. All right, that's my recap of what you may have missed in Comic-Con so far. Today, we're going to be showing off our original games, and we're going to start off with an overview of each game. And Bubby, you are going to be the one that helps us out through that.
Absolutely. So, on Thursday we talked about Versus. On Saturday we talked about Legendary. Friday we talked about accessories and gallery prints. But now we're going to talk about 8 other games that we have available for you guys that are kind of, some are off the wall, some are pretty cool, some are based upon licenses, most aren't. So yeah, I'm going to talk about some more things with these games. So the first game I want to talk about, you ready, Ryan?
Yep.
Is Quest for the Antidote. So this game is designed by Tom DeShanes, art by Scott Sherman. It's a game of 2 to 6 players. In my opinion, the more the merrier. It's more fun to have more people in this game. Lasts about 45 to 60 minutes. In this game, you and the other players have been taken prisoner and poisoned by the Mad King. You have all managed to escape, however, from the apothecary, and you have nothing with you but a list of ingredients that you need to acquire in order to cure your ailment. Each player has a unique set of ingredients that they have to acquire, so everybody has a little bit different path they have to take. This is a roll and move style game to obtain collections to your ingredients. So everybody has to obtain 4 different ingredients to cure themselves. All are kind of protected on the board by monsters, so that you have to defeat these monsters in order to get these ingredients. Or if you want to do a little bit of PvP, there's options where you can actually steal the ingredients from other players in the game. All the time while you're trying to do this, time is running out. If you see on the edge of the board, there's a counter from 1 to 50, and that's your breath level. Anything that you do, anytime you roll a dice, which is how you move or how you fight a monster, your breath tracker goes down 1. And so it's kind of like a game of attrition to see who can be the most efficient to get their ingredients and get back to the apothecary to make their potion. There's variations of this game for rules to have quick play. You can have co-op versions. There's some that are more heavy on PvP. A super fun game. Tom did a good job with this to make it a little bit light. A lot of jokes on the monster cards and within the cards that you can do. But it's pretty cool. So that's Quest for the Antidote. The next game we talk about is Shark Island. So Shark Island, game designed by Richard Lanius and Pete Shirey. Richard Lanius is a pretty popular guy out there. It's a game 2 to 5 players, semi-co-op. What that means, it's a 1 versus team. So it lasts about 30 to 60 minutes. And how it plays is it plays off the classic tale of giant shark terrorizing community. You guys might know what movie I'm kind of talking about there. One player controls the shark, and the sole goal of that player is to terrorize the island. The other players, 1 to 4 more players, are the hunters with the object of eliminating the shark threat around the island. You see some of those cards there. Each round consists of the shark trying to outwit the hunters by throwing them off using decoys, subterfuge, different things, so you can't really figure out where he is. Because when you're playing the game, you're going to have location tiles that are out there. You have to figure out which tile he's in. The hunters, of course, must work together as a team using special abilities and cards to determine the shark's location to ultimately reveal that shark. Each round, the hunters, if they fail to locate the shark, it rains terror on the island. But if they do happen to find it, a battle commences as they try to drive it off and ultimately eliminate the threat. So, pretty cool game based upon a theme that is, tried and true with the giant shark kind of thing going on. Super fun. So that's Shark Island. Next game is a game called Dread Draw. So Dread Draw is a game designed by Ryan Miller. The art on this game is phenomenal. You guys can kind of see a little bit of the art there. Chris Araziano, JP Target, who else is in this? Catherine Steele, I believe, Daniel Landerman. A bunch of people did the art for this game. Super good. Some of this art even made it into some of the art books that are out there that get published on a yearly basis. So awesome visually. So this game is 2 to 5 players. Really quick game. Plays 15 to 30 minutes. People come up to me and they say they play it when they're at a restaurant, when they're waiting for a table, when they're just kind of hanging out, killing some time. Super quick, super easy. Only 100 cards, so very portable as well. This game is a press your luck strategy card game. Each player is dealt a number of cards that represents your life. When your life deck is gone, you're out of the game. The remaining cards that aren't a life deck are in the middle, and that's your draw deck. So that's where the Dread Draw comes into play. On your turn, you must summon a card either from your reserves, which is going to be stuff that's in front of you that you can see, or from the draw deck, which is an unknown commodity. That's kind of the press your luck aspect of it, where you don't know if you're going to get something that you can play or not. So in order to play a card, every card has a strength. You see that number in the top left corner, that's the strength of that card. It ranges from 1 to 10. In order to successfully summon a card, its strength must be greater than the last card played. If it's not, card can't be summoned, and you're out of the round. There are some cards that have effects that allow you to kind of break this rule a little bit. That's kind of the base of it. The last remaining player is the last player that has cards in their draw deck, or their left deck, sorry. Because every time somebody gets eliminated, they're out of that round, and it keeps going around until you're the last person standing for that round. And you see those red dots in the left-hand card, that's kind of the damage they do. So that would take the life off the life deck until as you become the last person in the round, you damage the life of your opponents, and as that diminishes, you become victorious. That's Dreadjaw. Super fun game, super quick, light game, of course. The next game I talk about is the Dingo Ate the Baby. So this is a lighthearted, fun game that we created. Mike Elliott created this game, another great designer. This is a game that is 2 to 5 players, and it lasts about 30 minutes, so a nice quick game. Its mechanic revolves around a rock, paper, scissors mechanic, and so there's four main animals, if you will, in this game: babies, dingoes, lions, and elephants. And so the paper rock mechanic is babies scare elephants, elephants stomp on lions, lions pounce on dingoes, I believe it is, and then dingoes eat babies. And so that's kind of how that paper rock scissors dynamic works. And so it's a fast-paced game. Each goal of each day is a collection of cards within your ranch, which is in front of you, to get a certain point total without going over. And so using these cards and these paper rock scissor mechanics, you can kind of eliminate cards from other people's hands in order to get a better number to that goal within the game. And so that is that's Dingo right there. Super fun game, super quick game. Great art, a little bit of Wile E. Coyote style right there. So it's pretty fun. Next game, I believe, is Dark Legacy. So let's see, where's that at? Dark Legacy, game designed by Brian Tillman. 2-player game, PvP heavy based. Each game lasts about 45 to 60 minutes. So this is a very unique game. This game is a PvP strategy card game that combines elements of a traditional TCG with a traditional RPG. That sounds kind of crazy, but what that means is on the TCG side, you're summoning creatures, you're casting spells, using a constructed deck, very familiar from the TCG standpoint. On the RPG side, you're building a character, you're leveling up that character, getting weapons, getting armor, rolling d20s for combat, rolling d20s for spell casting. So that's very RPG heavy with the RPG feel right there. This game consists of 6 factions, each with their strengths and weaknesses, of course. There's accessories available for each of these. You can customize your play experience. It's a favorite faction. The playmat you see in this demo is the air faction. You can kind of see on that playmat how it's built up. Your playmat is your character. The left side is your armor, your weapons, your abilities. The right side is your spells and your creatures. So you're kind of developing that character with that. As you play your games, you'll get the XP. That's where that RPG kit comes into play. As your character gains levels, you get more abilities. You'll get the ability to use bigger and better cards, use more powerful spells, wield more higher powered magical weapons and armor. And you see with the expansion packs on the bottom of that screen, they're level tiered. And so just like a module for an RPG, the expansions are level tiered as well. So as you level your character, you can get the appropriate expansion to kind of expand on that. So that is Dark Legacy. Next game to talk about is Bring Out Your Dead, I believe it is. So this is a game designed by Aaron Watts, Max Halliday. 2 to 5 players. The board actually changes based upon number of players. So one side is 2 to 3 players, and I think the other side is 4 to 5. So that's pretty cool. Lasts about 30 to 45 minutes. This game is set in the Victorian era where players have to vie for the best cemetery plots in the city. It can be best described as a worker placement game with some area control mechanics, and it uses an action queue to determine order of play. Each day or round, players have to strategically work with the Gravedigger to convince him to give your family the priority for the best grave sites in town. In this stage, you must outwit the other players by predicting what they're going to do with their movements as well. And so you're playing cards to try to figure out what your opponent's going to do to kind of counteract them. You can also use rare fate cards, which is the purple cards on here, to manipulate the board and the token locations as well. The game ends when any player has exhausted their token supply. Afterwards, points are tallied. Taking into account plot location, areas dominated, a few other twists found in the game. You can find jewelry and things like that. You can steal other people's plots. So a lot of strategy involved with trying to outwit what your opponent's going to do. So that's pretty cool. So let's bring out your dead. Next game is Dungeon Draft. This is one I'm actually going to be playing later in the stream. So Dungeon Draft is a game designed by Justin Gary. 2 to 5 players. It lasts about 30 to 45 minutes. It plays over the course of 4 rounds. Players will recruit heroes, obtain weapons in an effort to defeat monsters, complete epic quests, and obtain fortune and glory. It's kind of like a dungeon crawler and a card game kind of thing. Pretty fun. So how this kind of works is this is primarily done through a card drafting mechanic, hence the name Dungeon Draft. Card drafting, if you guys don't know, is where a player selects a card from a card pool, then gives that pool to the next player. They select a card from that pool, goes to the next player, and so on until that pool is exhausted. And that's how you kind of create your hands for these games. Player then taking turns using the cards they selected to hire, sell swords, equip weapons and gear, fight monsters, complete quests. And the player that has amassed the most fortune and glory, the most XP, the most gold at the end of the 4 rounds is a victor. So that's Dungeon Draft. Next game on here, last game I want to talk about is The Crow, Fire It Up. So this game is designed by our buddies at Super Awesome Games, Ben Sikowski and Danny Mandel. They also do our Versus System 2 PC game, as well as Legendary Encounters, so they have some pretty good chops with us, some pretty good games underneath their belt. 2 to 5 players, semi-co-op again, kind of like Shark Island, 30 to 60 minutes. So just like the film, within this game, Eric is on a mission to track down the Motor City Madmen. You know them as Tintin, Funboy, Skank, T-Bird. His goal, Eric's goal, is to dish out vengeance and stop their reign of terror as they try to burn down the city of Detroit. So with that semi-co-op, one player controls Eric and his allies being Sarah and Officer Albrecht and, of course, the Crow. While the other players, a team of other players, 1 to 4 players, take on the roles of the aforementioned Madmen, also Grange, Micah, and of course Top Dollar. Top Dollar is the big boss in this game. Eric's objective in this game is simple: eliminate the vicious Motor City gang, and ultimately Top Dollar at the very end. The bad guys, however, the Motor City gang, have a variety of goals, a little bit different gameplay for them. They either have to set the city aflame by completing one of their randomly selected objectives, or track down Eric and eliminate him directly, so they can win in 2 ways. This game oozes with flavor, with theme, so it won't disappoint anybody that's a fan of The Crow. You see by the cards, there's quotes everywhere. Every card title is a quote from the game. So super fun, super thematic. And these guys will be playing this game to kind of show you what this is all about as well today. So, that being said, that is all I want to talk about for our other games that are out there, besides the fan favorites of Legendary and Versus. So I'll turn this back over to Ryan, but thanks everybody for hanging out with us during Comic-Con.
Thanks, Bubby. Back to me in the studio. No, I'm just kidding. So we're going to play The Crow. We're going to dive right in because we're limited on time. So with me is Mark. Mark's going to have his setup on over there, and he is running... Mark, go ahead and tell her what setup you have going on over there.
So I'm playing the Motor City gang. So my job is to try and burn down either a certain number of buildings or certain buildings based off of whatever my objective is going to be. And at the same time, trying to keep myself away from Ryan's Crow and Eric, Albright, and Sarah. So the 1 versus many is normally set up where somebody plays as the Crow and all of his friends, and then the other people can take individual of the Motor City Gang, or as we're playing here, just control all of them. So what Ryan is trying to do is take out the gang in a certain order based off of some tokens that he has, and then work his way down to get to top dollar so that he can take the gang out entirely. So what Ryan has in front of him is actually the game board. The game board is set up in a 2x2 of 4 different squares. The squares are double-sided and they can be rotated. So you can set up the city in various ways. Pretty much games are not going to be the same between each one. And then the standees and the names of the buildings are spread out. So those can change based off of the games as well. So then we've got, so right now, Ryan is the most powerful that he's going to be. He's getting abilities from each one of the buildings. And as I burn those down, I will take those away from him. So I can go through and strategically take out certain things, like he has the ability of jumping around or has the ability of protecting some stuff. At the same time, my guys get abilities based off of having everybody. So as he goes through and takes guys out, I will lose abilities that I can have on my side. Everybody is, if you want to go and jump back to mine.
Yeah.
Since mine are a little closer to the character cards. So these are broken up to how far somebody can move, how much fire they can cause, how much attack, and how much defense. So during my turn, each one of my guys gets 2 actions, 2 of 3 actions, which is either to attack, to set fires, or to move around the board. Whereas Ryan will have 4 total actions that he can do based off of his people's abilities. And he can move around pretty easy in the beginning. Then when I try to either set fires or attack, we've got these 5 dice. And we're looking for either certain symbols or duplicates, doubles of certain things, and then the defender will roll, and based off of if somebody hits or not, we'll take somebody out. Everybody pretty much has 1 health point. My guys, once they're killed, are removed from the game, but for Ryan's people, for the Crow and his buddies, they can keep coming back based off of what's going on. So we'll kind of go across that as we go through it. So the first thing that you would normally do is draw a random objective. So this is mine, and normally these are hidden, but I'm going to go ahead and show these off to everybody so we can see what it is that we're trying to do.
I'll be honest, I won't look, even though we won't get through a full game.
All right. So this is what I can't do. This is what I can do, and then once that's been done, then in order to win the game, I've got to do this down here. So we'll go ahead and put this off to the side so that he doesn't see what's going on. All right, so if you want to go ahead and switch back to your board, I'll show everybody how you kind of move around. So movement is a little weird in this game based off of whatever you're either on the streets, like all of my guys are, and some of Ryan's people, or you are...
Weird is unique.
Unique. Or you are moving around from rooftop to rooftop like Eric and the Crow can. So when I move around, like say Funboy, Funboy has a movement of 2+, so he actually has a movement of 3 due to the fact that T-Bird is still alive. So I can move 3 directions along any of the streets that I'm on as far as I want, and then I can change direction in between each one of those moves. I cannot pass through any of Ryan's people, and in the event that Ryan kills any of my guys, he will actually create a block or a space where it actually will slow me down. So we need to find T-Bird. He's the guy with the striped pants. I'm sorry, Funboy. He's the guy with the striped pants.
It's like Find Waldo.
That would be him, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And what's that building to his right?
Fire station.
Fire station. All right. Why don't we move right up against that fire station?
Okay.
Let's move him straight to it.
We'll do this for you.
Yep. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and try and start a fire. So I have 3 dice based off of his ability and Skank's ability, given my other guy's +1 fire. And so what I'm looking for are fire tokens. For each one of the fire tokens that I roll, Ryan is going to add a fire token to the fire station. Now, the fire station has a power of 4. So once I can get up to 4, the fire station will then burn down. We'll flip that token over, and that will be registered as one of my buildings that I've taken out. So I'm going to go ahead and roll these. See what I get. And I didn't get a single one. Awesome. All right, so that's it for Fun Boy. Where's T-Bird at?
T-Bird. What does he look like?
He's the guy with a gun in the air. Green shirt.
Oh, green shirt? Right here.
Okay. I think block out a little bit. There he is.
Loft arcade below you.
Yeah, the
Arcade loft.
yeah. Let's move up to the loft.
Okay.
Yeah, just move straight up to the loft. He also has 3 fire, so I'm going to try and burn some fire down on that.
This is how we play games in the quarantine era. It's pretty inventive, but it
Yes.
still works.
Yes. Yeah, the whole 6 feet thing, we're actually like 100 yards away from each other on it.
So if I rage, I have to like run across the building to yell at you.
Exactly. You got to run over here to flip my table. So I rolled my dice, did not get any of the fire tokens on T-Bird. So we'll move over to Tintin. He's the guy with the 2 knives in the air.
Uh-huh. Okay.
He should be up against, is that the pawn shop?
Yep.
All right, so based off where he is, his movement is 3. So 1, 2.
So how you would move, how you explained, if you wanted to go...
So let's say I wanted to go down to the loft. So then I would, which is down south from him.
Yep.
Yeah. So in order to move, I would have to move 1 space to the left from where he is. Yep. So to the left, there you go. And then all the way down towards the loft. You can move as far as you want in a single direction as long as the street allows you to do that. But once you hit either a person or a corner, you have to obviously stop. So working my way around that, like if I wanted to try and go up and attack Sarah up in the upper left up there, that would have actually cost me 1 to move to the left, another 1 to go up, another 1 to go left, and another 1 to go up. So I would not have been able to reach her. Yeah. So you kind of have to plan that out based off of the number of spaces or the number of movements that you can do during that. If I wanted to, I could move twice, which would give me 6, but I wouldn't be able to do anything after that. So I'm trying to cover a great distance, or if I'm trying to get away from Eric, who's trying to kill me, that's one way you can do that as well, just kind of run around. So Tintin is also going to attack. Unfortunately, he only gets 2 dice for his roll. And I got 1 fire token. So you're going to take one of those fire tokens and put it on the loft. You should have a fire token in front of you, little tiny ones.
Yep.
There you go.
There. So 1 of 3 now.
1 of 3. All right. Next up is Skank. If I remember right, he's in the lower right-hand corner.
What does it look like, this dude?
Lower right, it looks like he's got yeah, him. Yeah, where was he at?
Bottom left. Well, I guess
Bottom.
you're right. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so he was on arcade, touching arcade.
All right. So if he's down at the bottom, then I need to bring him around.
There you go.
Gotcha. All right. So the guy that you've got standing up, Gideon, that's connects to the arcade.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually inside the arcade, so
Okay.
he doesn't come out yet. So he's not actually on the street. So in order to get around. Is that a straight shot on the left-hand side of the arcade?
Yep.
Can I go all the way up to the loft on that?
You can't. You gotta go one left and then up to the left.
So then I'll do that. I'll go the one left and then all the way up to the arcade. That is my 2 points of movement for him. And then his attack is 3 dice, which I got one more on the fire. So that's
another fire token.
One more fire token for them.
Whew, you're gonna burn down my loft.
I'm trying.
Just say it was 2.
Okay, it's 2.
What?
All right.
My
We've
loft.
only got a few minutes. That's what Bubby's trying to get some action going. So if that was 2, then that would be the 3 that needed. So go ahead and pull those tokens off and actually flip that token over. So that's the 3 of the 7 that I need in order to in order to help me win the game.
Okay.
Normally I would go with the other 2, but we're going to go ahead and jump over to actually Ryan's turn so he can kind of show off some of the movement on their side. So for Eric and for the Crow, they will actually move from building top to building top. So right now they're both in the graveyard. There are 4 tokens that Ryan has on his player board that represent the 4 henchmen for the Motor City gang. You would shuffle those up and then pull one out, and that's the person who you're going to attack. So that's basically your death list. That's the order of which you are going to attack my guys, and it's normally hidden so that I don't know who you're going after until you start attacking them. So based off of whoever you find, and that is Funboy. So you need to find out where Funboy is and work your way down to them. So a few things about Eric. Eric is kind of weak unless he's in the same quadrant as the Crow. So if you move the Crow, he moves in a straight line from building top to building top. So when you're on top of a building, you don't exist on a single space. You actually exist on all of those spaces on top of the building. So right now, the Crow is everywhere within that graveyard.
2x2. Yeah, 2x2.
Yeah. So if you wanted to move to another building, as long as it lines up to a space on that, you can do that, and you can travel as far down that line as you wanted to. So you don't have to go just to the next building. You can go all the way down if you wanted to. And then for Eric, he actually will jump from building top to building top, and he can move a total of 3 street spaces during a movement. So he to get there, he would jump over that one and then move to the next one. So that would be far enough for him to go. And if you wanted to attack Funboy, you would roll the number of dice on your card that gives you the bullet. So if you look down
on my Eric card.
Yeah.
The asterisk, his attack and fire equal to the current health.
Okay, so his current health is 5. So that means your attack is 5. So you're going to roll all 5 dice, and what you're looking for are doubles of anything. And each pair of doubles that you roll is going to be a point of damage. If you roll 3 of a kind, that's still only 1 point, but if you roll 4 of a kind, that's 2 doubles. Therefore, that'd be 2 attack points. So hopefully you can get a double.
Nope. I literally didn't get 1 double. I got 1 of everything.
Go ahead and flip one of those over so we can show what it looks like.
2 bullets.
All right, so 2 bullets. So that's 1 point of damage on me. And since you're attacking Funboy, his defense is 3, so I would roll my 3 and see if I got any bullets. If I got a bullet, I would defeat or I would block that attack. I did not. So you're causing 1 point of damage, which is enough to knock out Funboy. But you also did roll 2 bullets, and because that attacked, you've got a card in front of you that lists all the 6 dice. And if you get a double on that bullet, it does something. What does that do? Yeah, that.
If this hit is defended, the attacker may make an immediate free attack on the same enemy.
So, okay, so it was not defended against, so you don't have to worry about that, but you did take my guy out. Okay. So remove Funboy from the from the game. Go ahead and pull him off the board. And yeah, so that you actually put down where he was standing.
Nice.
That flaming crow, you'll put down where he's standing. So anytime my guys try to pass through that, they have to stop there because they are scared that the crow is starting to kill them off one at a time. So it's now kind of a bit of an obstacle for me to get around the board. So the more you take out, the harder it is for me. And also the more I take out, the harder it is for you. So also, since Funboy is gone, that means all of my guys have less of a defense. So now whoever the next person is that you've got on your list, the next token you've got.
This guy. If I can get in focus. It's this dude right here, the knife guy.
The knife guy. So that's going to be Tintin. So you got to find out where Tintin is, and he's your next target.
Okay.
So you've moved twice, you've attacked once. One thing that's pretty cool is where Sarah is somebody that Eric likes to check in on from time to time. So he actually can jump from wherever he is to a building next to her. So sometimes it's beneficial to move somebody in order to get him, like to move her in order to get him to jump kind of across the board. Yeah. Albright, who is the cop at the top there, his ability is that if he's standing next to any building, it gives it a +2 defense on fire. So it makes it harder for me to burn down stuff. Now, I can attack these people and make it a little harder for you, but sometimes I don't want to kind of keep my guys around because obviously they're targets for you, and wherever my guys are, you're going to be running towards. So I have to kind of keep things moving. So that would be your 4 movement points, taking a guy out. I'm burned down a building. Then it would come back to me, and I would move again. And let's see.
Do we want to, I think for time's sake, we should probably just jump right to the next game.
Sure.
Does anybody have any questions on the Crow? I'm excited. I mean, I would love to have more time and possibly at a future date we can play this through. I mean, there's things that we didn't get to of this game, but thematically, there's so much to it. And it's, to have that. I love having a team of pieces, kind of like a chess type of thing against your team, and you're trying to work towards an objective, and I don't know what that objective is, and it's gonna be good. But is there any questions in there? Put it on the on Tabletop Simulator, and I'll play. Very possible. All right, let me get Dungeon Draft, so I don't go in the camera and everything. I'm going to hit the be right back, and I will see you guys in like 30 seconds.
Here comes epic change of game.
Change in game.
Wait for it.
Pieces were on that card that I just lifted up.
I'm sure you guys didn't stack your decks at all, right? This is totally organic.
Yeah.
All right. There's that. That. What fell?
See interlude music.
Music, Bubby.
Yep. See how long we can do this for.
You said 30 seconds, man. Come on.
It's been 33 seconds. Got it. All right. Next game is Dungeon Draft. One of my favorites. Top-down cam here. Ignore the crow there because I just had to move that out of the way. Mark, go ahead and give us a brief overview of Dungeon Draft. What are we expecting?
All right. If you want to go ahead and jump over to my screen, I can show you off some stuff.
Okay, there you go.
All right. So Dungeon Draft is a dungeon crawler mixed with a draft mechanic. It does that by everyone getting a 7-card hand, and they actually will choose one of those 7 cards, keep it to themselves, and then pass on to the next player. Then they get the next hand from the player before them, which would be then 6 cards. They choose the card that they want out of that and pass it on, and it keeps going again and again and again until you get a full hand of 7 cards. Those 7 cards are going to be made up of various things. You've got heroes and you've got heroes and weapons, as well as monsters. The heroes and weapons are divided into 4 different classes. You've got your warriors, your mages, your druids, and your rogues. There's also monster cards in there. You will use gold to purchase heroes and weapons. Those will then give you an attack, and those attack values can then be used to defeat monsters. Cards that you get during your turn, except for the monsters, will actually stick around and can actually generate gold and experience points. And the monsters themselves are kind of a one-time thing, and then once they're done, they'll actually will get discarded. So the game itself consists of 4 rounds of drafting and playing as many cards as you can out of your hand. Anything that isn't played gets discarded. And at the end of those 4 rounds, whoever has the most experience points wins. It's actually a pretty quick game. And we'll just go ahead and jump right into this.
All right.
And show some stuff off. So the first thing you want to do is grab 9 gold. You start with 9 gold.
All right, 9 gold. Trying to organize a little bit more just because I'm OCD.
Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, let's dive in.
All right. One thing that we do need to cover is actually the quest cards. Might help. So quest cards are actual quests that you will go on while you're doing your cards, or while you're playing the game. At the beginning of the game, everybody gets 5 quests, and you'll choose 3 of those 5. The quests actually have these symbols at the top. This is actually the number of cards of that type or of that class that you need in order to activate these quests. So like this one here requires 4 druids. This one needs 3 mages and 3 rogues. And this one here needs 2 of all 4 classes. Once you're able to activate these, they will give you either experience, attack, maybe some gold, or even some abilities that can be used throughout the game. So I gave 5 of these to Ryan, so he just needs to grab 3, and I'm going to grab, say, these 3. Have some fun. These are kept secret until you're able to actually activate them.
Good to go. Are you keeping your secret? Okay, I see you.
Oh, I can put them out there.
No, that's fine.
I'll put them out there. That way people can see what it is that we're trying to do, what I'm trying to do.
All right.
By the way, this one here is actually a promo card. You can only get it by purchasing Dungeon Draft on the Upperdeck store, upperdeckstore.com.
There you go. Plug it.
It's one of my favorite images. All right, you ready?
I am shifting, but ready. Yes.
Okay. I will go first. And let's see. All right, so I'm going to play. Let's do this one first. So this is the Master Summoner. She gives me, for the rest of this round, cards that cost 4 or more gold now cost you 2 less to play. So in order to play her, I actually have to pay 5. You want to jump to my screen so people can see what I'm doing?
Yeah. Just want them to look at me, all the time.
All right, so I got my Master Summoner out. I paid the 4 for that, which means that if I play Strayhand the Bard, since he costs 4 or more, he actually cost me 2 less, so I lose 2 for that. I've got 3 left, and I need some attack. So I will go ahead and play Aramis the Barbarian. Costs 2. So the other cards that I've got in here, I don't have enough attack in order to take out the Necromancer, and I don't have enough gold generated for this round to play any of these. So I will actually lose these. These will be discarded, and that will be the end of my turn. So that will go over to Ryan.
All right. So for me, I'm going to go, I have Heavy Mage here. For the rest of the round, Mage cards cost you 2 less gold to play. So I'm going to start with that one. Here we go, down here. So 2 gold.
What is that? All right.
Yep, so spend my 2 gold there. And then I'm going to then use 2 more gold for League of Phoenix. But technically, that is 2 less, so it's free.
Yep.
So that's free, no gold cost me there. And then lastly, I will spend 5 gold for High Mage. Gain 5 experience if you control more mage cards than anyone else. And that's
that would
not,
be you.
Is that right away, or is that...
The abilities happen right away. So yeah, so you would reach in and grab 5, is it gold or experience?
5 experience.
Yeah, so you grab 5 experience and go ahead and add that to your pool.
But since she's 2 less, I am putting in a 5, and I took 2, so keep 3, make it 3.
Sure.
And I have 4 gold. Technically, I'm working towards a lot of green here, so I don't have enough for here. I could have doubled my current gold. What was I thinking? Now, gold carries over, yes?
Gold does carry over, and the cards that have gold on them will gain you gold between rounds. So at the end of the round, any of the cards that you have in play will stay in play, and anything that's along that left-hand side as far as gold and attack will carry over to the next round.
Okay. Well, I'm going to save my gold and discard the rest of the cards here.
Okay. Now, you will also get 5 gold on top of that. So if you've got anything you want to go ahead and spend, you can.
I guess I can do a short sword for 3 gold.
Sure. You'll need the attack later, I'm sure.
So 3 gold. There we go. All right, then I'll... Well, so how did these combos work?
Combos for...
Right here. So I have the one down. If I put this one down, that's considered 2? Or do I need 2 more?
Yes, those count themselves. So when you play that, you have to have that many of that type on your board in order to activate that ability.
All right, make this nice and neat. So I have the 2. So for this turn, this round, do I need 5 gold to play him, or I can just defeat him?
That's actually hero, so you have to pay the 5 gold.
Duh.
Yeah, the monster cards are going to be black border.
Come on.
I was gonna. He looks. You know, he's got the.
It looks menacing.
Yeah. All right. So then, in which case, it's this round, but I have nothing to attack with, so that's it for me.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and discard those. You'll then grab 5 gold plus however much gold is shown on the cards you played or you have.
Not experience, right? I don't grab my experience.
Not experience. The experience on the hero and weapon cards are tallied at the end of the game.
Okay.
You'll gain experience when you defeat monster cards immediately, but everything else is not.
Okay.
And then we'll go on to the next one. So go ahead and jump back over to my. There you go. All right, so in this one, I've got a lot of high-cost stuff. Joy.
Joy.
Attack 5 gives me 5.
Do a quick example of how a draft would work if you guys were sitting next to each other.
So if we were sitting next to each other, these would say these are my 7 cards. He's got his 7 cards. I would go through here and try and figure out which one of these cards I would want. Let's say I want this one because it's going to give me some experience. So I'll keep that to myself. I'll take the 6 cards that are left, and I'll pass it to the player to my left in round 1. Then I would get the cards from Ryan of the 6 cards that he had left. And then from those 6, I would go through and pull the card that I want from that. And then I would pass that to the player to the left, which would be Ryan. And we keep exchanging hands over and over and over and over again until you're down to having a full hand of 7 cards. The play goes clockwise on rounds 1 and 3, and counterclockwise in rounds 2 and 4. That way, everybody can kind of affect each other. Depending on the number of players, you may see your hand more than one additional time. So some of the cards that you've got, since it's just the 2 of us, I'll keep seeing this hand over and over and over again as he takes out cards and gives them back to me. So you may think, oh, I really want these 2 cards. I'll go ahead and take this one and hope he doesn't take this one. Or you may wind up getting stuck with a very expensive card or a high value monster in the first round that may hurt you. So there's a bit of planning. You've got to kind of balance between stuff that you want and stuff that you're going to negatively impact your opponent. So for my cards, I was going to play... Yeah, I've already got 2 on that. So I'm going to play for 7. Bring out Morrigan. Now Morrigan gives me 4 attack. I already have 2 attack from Aramis, which means that I can defeat any monster in my hand that costs 6 or less. So I will defeat the Red Dragon, who only costs 5. Because I defeat the Red Dragon, I will get an immediate 5 coin, and that gets discarded. If I had any other monsters that cost 6 or less, I could keep bringing those out. So if I had a full hand of just monsters that all cost 6 or less, I could defeat them all together. You're not spending attack like you do for gold. It's just an ongoing effect. Those heroes and those weapons always have that ability. So now I've got 7 more. Be able to play 2 of the cards this round. I need some good stuff here. So total attack. Yeah, let's try that. All right, so I'll play this for 3. So my Crushing Mace, since I've already got at least 2 other warrior cards out there. It says reveal the top card of the draft deck. If its gold cost is less than the total your attack, you may play it for free. So I will go ahead and pull that. So it does not have a gold cost. So unfortunately not. Put that back. And then I will play this for 1. Give myself a little more experience there. Everything else is too expensive. So I will go ahead and discard everything. And play goes on to Ryan.
All right. We'll play this one hand out, and then we will wrap up everything for Comic
Perfect.
Con. So I have 5 gold. So I am going to go... so the attack carries over. I have this. Now this says your attack is +3 this round. So
yes.
Now that
so
combo's gone.
That does not apply.
Okay.
Yeah, anything that's written on the cards and in the card text only happens during that round. That's why it helps that you can actually squish all of those cards together like you have them, because you're only worrying about what's on the left side of those cards after you've played after the next round.
Gotcha. So I have 4 attack nonetheless, 3 and 1. And so I can defeat all 3 of these monsters, correct?
Correct. So you'll do them one at a time.
Okay. So let me do this one first. You may play a card with a gold cost equal to or less than your total attack for free. So my total attack right now is 4.
Okay.
I probably should not have attacked that one first, for the sake of demo.
Sure.
Go back.
Go back.
Yeah, you
I'm
pull it
gonna,
back.
I'm gonna attack Golem.
We're kind of showing off the combos.
Yeah, I'm gonna attack Golem, get 4 gold, and then I'm gonna attack.
Yeah. So
Oh, go ahead.
sometimes it's beneficial to play cards in front of others. Sometimes it's not. So it's really kind of going through, learning the cards, seeing what each card does, and just trying to figure out: do I want to play this one first? Do I want to play that one first? Do I want to attack first to get the gold, or do I need to recruit some people before I attack? Does the gold help me? That kind of stuff.
So I got 7 gold from them. Then I'm gonna start with Mage Trainer. Now these make blue cards or mage cards 2 less gold. So
awesome.
I spent my 2 gold there. I will spend. Actually, I did not. Then I'll spend only 2 gold for him.
Okay.
And now I have 3 attack. Now I can attack the Necromancer. You may play a gold cost equal to your attack for free.
There you go.
And so my attack is 2, 5, 6. And I will play. How much attack do you have?
How much attack do I have?
Yeah.
I have 7.
Okay, so I have 3, 5, 8, 9. And so now I can spend 5 gold for Battle Trumpet. Gain 5 experience if you have more total attack than anyone else.
See?
And so
by playing that hammer first, it gave you enough attack to be better than mine, to be greater than mine. And then by playing that trumpet afterwards, you're able to get even more experience.
There we go. And that would be the end of my turn. And we'd go multiple rounds. How many rounds?
Yeah, you go.
It's 4?
Two more rounds. So it's a 4 rounds total. And then once that happens, you would add up all of your experience points, including the experience points that are on the cards, and any of the tokens that you have. And whoever has the most experience wins.
And that's Dungeon Draft.
And that is Dungeon Draft.
Thanks, Mark, for guiding us through those. Bubby, thank you for giving us a rundown of all games. All these games that were talked about today can be bought on our store, !store in the chat, upperdeckstore.com, with the game section. Upper Deck does amazing. We do an amazing job of thematically putting the games together. Our designers spend countless hours making sure that pieces of the game make sense, that everything works together thematically, like you saw in The Crow, based off movements, attacks, being blocked, being scared. Like, so many things are put together, and these games make great games to play with others. So make sure you check all of them out. This is going to conclude Comic-Con, but I'm going to do one last thing, and that is going to be show our print. Make sure you go buy this print. It is an exclusive run. It's only for Comic-Con by Dave DeVries, 18 by 24, great size. If you've seen behind me, it makes the art is amazing. The work he put into it is immense, and it came out great. It's a beautiful piece, prints really, really well, and there's only 100 of them, so make sure you go grab it. That is it for Comic-Con 2020. What a different year it has been. But definitely a lot of fun. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for stopping by, spending time out of your weekend. Hopefully you go pick up some of these games. I highly recommend Dungeon Draft. Dread Draw is not one that we fully covered, but I love that one. Those are quick games. If you want to sit down for a more thematic game, The Crow is amazing. Quest for the Antidote is amazing. They're all great. Make sure you go check out the store. Go grab one of those, and we will see you next year. We have... make sure you're following the Twitch channel because we have other streams coming up, and hope to see you all there for more content. Bubby, did I miss anything?
You didn't, man. Yeah, just want to thank everybody for coming and hanging out with us. You know, this has been a weird Comic-Con, but you know, seeing the panels that everybody's been doing, still engaging with the community, still doing things to get people excited about stuff. But yeah, next year we'll see you in person.